is an unfiltered network, so you can say anything you want.
Don't.
Sorry.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta put these children in check.
Mommy,
Don't make me do this
can
on
I get
live.
a popsicle?
There is none. You ate it
Is
all.
there what?
Yes, A. Come talk to her.
Who's A? How much of like your upbringing do you think you carried into your own parenting? Do you think like
Mom.
again, because that comes back to like the generational trauma stuff. However, like not as much. Like, did you take some of the parenting techniques, I guess, that your mom used on you and tailor them to yourself, or do you feel like you're trying new avenues of parenting?
No, for sure. I think there's definitely some parts of how my mom raised me that I take on. Like, she was very open with me and what she went through. I never felt like I could not talk to her. So in that sense, I want Nevaeh to feel the same way. I mean, when I mean me and my mom talked about everything, we talked about everything. Whether she was mad or not is another story. But she never made me feel like not safe to not talk to her about it. So I definitely want Nevaeh to be able to be open with me like that. And for me to be able to give her the education rather than her friends.
Yeah.
But there's definitely certain things that I realized that I needed to change to just be a better mom. And again,
Of
that's my upbringing too. Again, I'm not saying like I think my mom did a great job. She was a single mom. She did the best that she could. And I think she did a great job. I mean, we never went without. She did work 2-3 jobs. And my brother, it was me, my brother, normally home, right? And that's one thing I worry about too when Nevaeh gets older is like, am I always going to be at work and she's going to be home by herself? Like, obviously I don't.
That's why you should get me a baby brother.
No, you're not getting a baby brother. Anyway.
Sorry, Nevaeh, that ship sailed.
Long time.
Long time ago.
Mommy,
My uterus is closed. Anyway.
Mommy, this is proof.
But definitely like the yelling, I try to like not, obviously like you already know I went through like a mental health program, depression, anxiety, PTSD, ADHD. So I'm trying to like work.
My mom and I have talked about it. I've actually come out and told her like this is.
Yeah.
I know that you're an amazing mom. Like I'm not traumatized by any means. Some of the stuff that we can talk about, we can laugh about. However. Yeah. There are some things that I wouldn't carry into my parenting style now.
Yeah.
Versus there are some things that I will definitely keep. Like,
exactly.
I don't want to spank if I don't have to. But I believe in smacking hands. Let me smack your hands a little bit. Let me... You're touching something you're not supposed to touch. I've asked you 10,000 times. Stop touching it.
Yeah.
No, it's just little things. Our TV downstairs is gonna be dead soon because this kid goes up to it and just loves the TV. And like, I know that some of that has to do with, neurodivergence. And like, we went to the doctor, was it yesterday? Yesterday? Yeah. And the doctor even thinks, yeah, he could be on the spectrum. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
he has a lot of things that he does that are on the spectrum, so I have to be careful on how I discipline him too. I can't.
They don't handle it the same. It's different.
Give him smacks like our parents would have. I can't do that to him.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I wouldn't do that now anyway, even if he wasn't, because there are just certain things I wouldn't want to repeat.
Oh, that's a good point. Bianca says he might love that spinning chair.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he comes and sits in it.
Stimulation. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He does.
Nevaeh has a lot of like fidgets. Coincidentally, I'm playing with her squishy ball.
She's about to pop it.
This girl has so much mouth.
You do.
God. Anyway.
Or on a live.
But this is what happens, right? The minute you're on the phone, your kid has everything to tell you.
Melody popped my stress ball like she pays bills.
Listen, they sleep like they pay bills. Okay. They demand things like they pay bills. Like she used to like bounce around a lot, like the focus, but then medication has helped her, mellow out, which has been good.
I definitely think that Xavier has ADHD, 100%.
Yeah, I
Because
think
of some
so.
symptoms.
I think so, but that's okay. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
Like, I
Nevaeh's
have
super.
it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I honestly feel like it just depends on the situation. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like some things may not need medication, like some of the doctors try to push it. I do think that alternative methods should be tried first before medication comes into play. Which, Jen, I know that's what you did. You did try alternative methods first before deciding to try Nivea on medication, which I do remember us talking about that before.
Yeah, we've kind of had a journey. We started out with therapy first, and then we got services from Sick Kids where they would come into my home 2 hours a week to work with her, which she made night and day changes. But with ADHD, you also know there could be impulsive behaviors and things like that. And like she had a focus problem, and her mind is racing minute, like a mile a minute. Like she'll be here doing one thing, 2 seconds later she's doing the next thing, like that. And the medication pretty much calmed her down, so she wasn't bouncing around, so that she could think and like process her feelings rather than just impulsively, go off. No, Richard, it's okay. I remember. I don't want to get too much detail about her father, but like we went through a lot of things as well, and Nevaeh was small.
Yeah, you've been through a lot with him.
And no, she might not remember it like in her mind, like what happened, but children remember it in their body. That's what I learned through therapy.
Yeah, body has trauma response as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's kind of a bunch of different things. Like one, we didn't know Nevaeh had ADHD up until like January of this year, because Nevaeh was always like above her grade level. She was always smart and things like that. It was really like a behavior like issue. I don't want to go into too much detail because she's here. But
I don't care.
So people just labeled her as like, oh my God, she's just this being like, quite frankly, this angry Black kid. And it wasn't the case. It was one of her teachers that were like, Jennifer, no, I feel like there's something wrong. And unfortunately, I had to fight for a long time. We saw signs of things from like junior kindergarten. From junior kindergarten, she's in grade 3 now. I've been fighting for services. I had to demand the school to make meetings with their school psychologists and psychiatrists and all these things. And it took a long time. It wasn't until last year where I started getting somewhere. And even then, I had to contact Sick Kids myself. They have a Sick Kids mental health specifically for kids at like on Keelan, like close to Keelan Shepherd.
Yeah.
And I ended up calling them and bugging them and emailing them every day. Like, listen, I need services. And that's how I got services. Unfortunately, it wasn't through the TDSB. I feel like they haven't really been much help, to be honest. And it wasn't until I got in touch with Sick Kids, and Sick Kids got involved with the school, where things started happening. So I feel like as parents, we have to, sometimes they're not going to listen to us. And I really had to advocate for Nevaeh. And because I did that, she's now like on a better path.
I feel like sometimes the schools they want to sweep a lot of things under the rug.
Yeah.
And they don't want to take accountability for how their school system may have contributed to the issues.
Yeah.
And they also don't want to admit, hey, there could be something actually wrong here. And instead put the problem maybe on the parenting or the child itself, and that's not fair.
Yep.
Because I've been in the same position. I was bullied so much as a kid, and I remember one of the schools I was at wasn't taking the complaint seriously, and I ended up cutting off a chunk of my hair and coming with a whole fucking story just to get them to listen to me. And then I finally said, listen, he didn't cut my hair.
Yeah.
But he's been bullying me for months, and we've been complaining to you and coming to you. My mom ended up removing me out of the school because it's like, what kind of length that she has to go to get your attention? And that's when I was a kid.
Well, like, and then that's the thing. Like last year, they created this bad habit where, so I felt like the school didn't want it to be their problem. They wanted to push her off to somebody else.
Of course.
So literally, I would send her to school for 8:45. By 10, 11 o'clock, they're calling me and sending her home. And this was happening for months, to the point that I started homeschooling Nevaeh last year because it was so traumatic for her. It was so traumatic for me. I kept losing my job because I kept having to go back and forth to the school because they weren't like handling it. And so I had to homeschool her. And that's when I was like, no, like you guys need to step up. And even this year, like Sick Kids made it very clear to them, sending her home is not an option. Because what happened was it started sending like, it made a bad pattern for Nevaeh, because Nevaeh was like, oh, well, I'm going to act up. You're going to send me home. And she's smart, and she caught on to that. And so every time she acted up, she's like, I'm going to go home. I want to go home. And so this year, they had to undo that. And it was hard because Nevaeh would cry because she was used to being sent home. And they had to correct that and say, kids, like, no, this is your issue you created, and now you need to fix it. But now she has a support, so she's doing a lot better. Melly did the same thing in SK.
They need to be. They definitely need to be more proactive and hands-on when it comes to not necessarily behaviors in children, but like specific kids, but all around surrounding factors. Like, what else is making her react this way?
Yeah.
Like, are there kids that are bothering her? Is there a teacher that's not being honest about how she's treating her? Like, these are all things. And I worry about this too because Xavier's not really speaking yet, right? So he starts preschool this year, and I can only hope that he's going to start speaking enough to tell me if something happened at school. Yeah. And I'm going to have to trust the teachers.
This is where you got to build that relationship with.
Yeah, and it's tough. I've seen so much shit in schools too, and how they treat kids,
Nevaeh was
kids
bullied.
that are not. Pardon?
Nevaeh was bullied in SK kindergarten. There was a little girl who literally cut a hole with scissors in her uniform, and I got an email about that. I was pissed. I was like, "How are you emailing me when a child took scissors?" A child took scissors and cut a hole in my child's uniform in the back.
And was it a boy? Oh, it was a girl.
No, it was a girl. And when you emailed me about that, you didn't even call me. Secondly, who gives scissors to junior kindergarten students and is not watching them? This little girl was across the classroom. So you gave her scissors. She had to come across the classroom to my child and cut a hole in her thing. And then the next day, you wanted to get mad because my child slapped her. I'm confused. And better believe I made them buy her uniform back.
I would have too.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The old Jennifer would have been in jail. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
If this was in high school, I would have took the charge. But you know what? We grew. We're adults. And I have my anger somewhat under control.
I say all the time, like, these people don't even know how much I've toned down.
No, they have no clue. They have no clue at all.
No, being tackled. You know, like, is it, especially kids that are on the spectrum, they're getting it really bad right now.
Yeah, and you heard that, like, TDSB is cutting how many teachers next year? It's ridiculous.
It's already going to get worse.
We're already short-staffed, at least at Nevaeh school. They're already short-staffed.
Yeah.
The help they're supposed to have, especially for kids who are on the spectrum, they don't have it because the government keeps cutting money. And now you're cutting like 490-something teachers. It's crazy.
Yep.
Like, what kind of education are we going to get?
So now all these teachers are now going to have double the work